Fresh from sometimes hostile encounters with the public, the Prime Minister has returned to Canberra today for a press club address on her carbon pricing scheme. Tony Abbott's continuing his sweep around the nation. He's taken his anti-carbon bandwagon to a trucking depot in Queensland. Well, with the latest on their duelling campaigns, political reporter Melissa Clark joins us from Canberra. Melissa, the Prime Minister hoped an election-style campaign would help garner support for pricing carbon. Is it working?
Well, all evidence is that this issue is as divisive as ever. We saw that yesterday when the Prime Minister visited a shopping centre in Brisbane. Not only were shoppers confronting her, they were confronting each other about the issue of climate change. Now, Julia Gillard hasn't let that deter her. She says that she will keep going to these sorts of events, and in fact she went to a forum in Brisbane last night to face yet more questions from the public. And while she did get some policy questions about emissions reduction targets and complementary policies, she again faced question after question about whether or not she has a mandate and whether or not she can be trusted.
When is it okay for a person holding high office to lie?
How can anyone trust you with this record? Because I don't think I can anymore.
If the carbon tax is so important to the future of Australia and the world, why won't you take this important issue to an election?
Well, Tony Abbott's anti-tax campaign is also in Brisbane today. Do you think he can sustain this kind of pressure until the next election?
He's certainly going to try. He's been bouncing around the country. He's in Brisbane today at a trucking company, and he is clearly the front runner in this campaign by any measure and by any poll. The next election is his to lose, albeit that election is probably 2 years away. So what we're seeing from Tony Abbott is actually a campaign that's quite the opposite to Julia Gillard's, where Julia Gillard is prepared to take some risks in facing voters and frustrated shoppers, as we've seen. Tony Abbott is doing the opposite. His is a very focused, narrowly targeted campaign, and he's very much sticking to the message that this is a question about the trustworthiness of both the government and particularly of the Prime Minister Julia Gillard herself. Now, as long as his standing in the polls remains as high as it is and this campaign remains as effective as it is, he won't deter from it. So you can expect to see a lot more of the same.
Melissa Clark, thank you.